Okay, so I have no idea how well this video is going to turn out, but this is my tutorial for making a 5-headed hydra. I kind of came up with this idea myself. I don't know if anybody else out there has been able to do it. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start out with a piece of paper. This is just a square piece of origami paper. Now, quick warning, if you haven't made origami before, this might be a little tricky. If you have, you'll know some of the terminology. We're going to start out folding everything in half, all 4 ways. And for the beginning of this, we are going to be hiding the colored side of the paper, and then it reverses itself later on. Alright, fold it in half diagonally. Alright, so once you've got everything folded in half all 4 ways, you're going to fold each corner to the center, which again will hide the color of your paper, but that'll come back out later, so don't worry. Oh my. And then with all 4 corners folded to the middle, you're going to flip it over. And then you're going to pick 2 corners, and you're going to fold the edges connected to those corners to the center. Kind of like you're folding in like a paper plane. Fold those in and unfold them, and then you're going to go to the other corner you just picked and do the same thing. So all these 4 folds are going to be across from each other. So your creases will look like that. So you've got these 2 edges folded to the middle, and these 2 edges folded to the middle on these corners. Now what you're going to do, fold this in half and make sure that these 2 edges are nice and creased. These are going to be folded and actually, shit, I fucked up. Flipped over, fold the other way, make sure they're creased this way. Back to where you were, and then you're going to rabbit ear each of these sides, which looks like this. You're going to fold here, and then refold this one, which is going to make this point stick up. And then you're going to fold that flap down and crease it. Then fold it the other way and crease it. And you can do that to this side as well. Fold both of those so the flap sticks up. Fold it down and crease it both ways. Alright, so now what you've got is this. And then you're just going to flip it over and unfold all 4 of these little corners. And flip it back over. Now you're going to pick one end to be the tail and one end to be the head. Doesn't matter which is which, because these are reversible here. And you're going to fold along these 2 edges here, like that. And fold along these 2 creases, so you're going to fold these edges to the center. like that, and then unfold them. And then you're going to fold these two edges into the center and unfold them. And then the same thing you did here to get these points, you're going to do right here. So you're going to fold that and that at the same time to have this little triangle stick up. And then you're going to fold the triangle to one side and then flatten it out the other way. So it looks like that. And that's exactly what you've done here to make this. Now you're going to do this right there. So now your model will have two little triangles here, two big triangles here, and this white square. Now we're going to move over to this white square. So you simply fold all four of these little flaps towards the colored tail. Fold them all down this way. Now you're going to fold this corner, which is the top corner of this little white square, to the bottom corner of the white square, right along this crease. Just going to bring this whole thing down. There should already be creases there. Make it pretty easy. Give that a good sharp crease. Now this part's a little tricky. You need to inside reverse fold this triangle, which means you're going to bring this corner down to these two corners. So you're going to have to reverse this crease here. So if you want to try to unfold the last fold we just did to the square, fold it back and crease. Now flatten it back out again. And now you're going to want to bring that crease to the center line and that corner down to this corner, which looks like this. And the easiest way to do that is to just kind of fold that and then make sure that this line and this line meet in that little corner in there. And then you're going to bring this corner down to that corner and then kind of hold it there and flatten this little loop that it makes. Flatten that, and again, this will not stand flat. It wants to stand up. You're going to flatten that, and then holding this right here, you're going to bring the first corner, this one, down to where you had it before, like that. When everything's in position, you're going to flatten that little loop. Realizing now it was not a great idea to do black paper. Hopefully you guys can see this. So that's all we did, was we brought this corner down to the center. Focus, there we go. So it looks like that. So you've just got this flap squashed down like that. And you can do the same thing to this side. And it makes it a lot easier when you do it to this side to undo the other side. So undo that, and then repeat the process over here. So you're going to fold that. Again, make sure that this crease comes down and meets that. What I mean is don't let the crease stop there. Make sure that that crease comes all the way out to the center. And then swing it down so that those lines meet. Get your fingers in there and flatten out that little loop. Bring the top part down, flatten out that little loop. So those two little triangles should meet. This triangle and this triangle should be the same. And then, now that you've got that all creased, put this one back where it was. And there you go. You've got two little flaps over here, two little flaps over here. Now you're going to fold those flaps to the center along that line. Like this. Just kind of wrapping it around this little flap here. You're going to bring one, just the top one, in. You do that on both sides. So bring this flap in. Give it a nice crease. Unfold it. And now what you're going to do is you're going to bring this corner up. So kind of open up these layers here and grab just this top layer here. You're going to bring this up like this. And on the lines that you just made, the creases you just made here, you're going to fold these guys in like that on both sides. Make sure all your lines meet. So it looks like that. And you're going to fold that up. So essentially, what you just did is you're just going to inside reverse fold these two and these two. So when you inside reverse fold these, looks like that. And then you're going to do the same thing here. Fold it over like we did before, give it a little pinch. Hold this flap up. Now you've got a right side and a left side on this one. The first one is all one flap, now it's a right and a left. So you're going to do one side at a time, flip this up, and flatten this, like that. Camera might be a little far away for this, so hopefully you guys can see. But there's now this flap here. And then you're going to do the same thing right here. You're going to fold this up. Squash that flap in. Like this. Now your model should look like this. You've got one big Alright, so here we are. I'm now filming with a little additional light. Hopefully that helps a little bit with this black paper. So what we need to do next is make sure that all these little flaps, all these little triangles I was talking about, are all folded that way. So just fold these guys up. Fold these big ones up. And fold these small ones up. Now we're going to be working on this end. What we need to do is on this top flap here, you're going to fold the edge to the center on both ends. It's going to look like this. I'm trying to do this mid-air. Like that. Just the top layer. And you can do the same thing on this side. Again, just this layer. So you have two layers of paper here. I'm filming this on my cell phone if you can't tell. I'm not a photographer. This is the first video I've ever made. So, not this flap, but this flap. Outside edge to the center. Like that. So you've got both of these flaps folded to the middle. And now what you got to do is what's called a sink fold, which is one of my least favorite folds because it's quite difficult. So this is where it gets tricky because we're going to do a lot of this sink fold. So what you got to do is that top portion, you can kind of see on this flap, that top portion where we just cut everything in half, you're going to sink that inside of that flap. So you need to unfold this. Basically what we're going to do is make sure that where you can see this little triangle of creases here, that is going to be folded inside while the rest remains on the outside. So what that's going to look like is fold it down. If you can see these 3 creases, 1, 2, 3, fold it, this whole flap down on the first crease. Just work on this end. This end's going to stay all bulgy. You're going to fold this back up like that, and then back down one last time. So one side's going to be all crazy, the other side's going to look like that. And now, right here, you can kind of pop this inside out, and now you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So you're going to pinch this corner here up into those creases, and just kind of make sure that this whole valley here, you have the flap out like that. You're going to make sure this whole kite-shaped triangle in here is just pushed into the model. So kind of pop those like this. This light's almost making things worse. Like that. And then when you kind of flatten everything, alright, I'm not sure what happened here. Mine got a little messed up, but this is what it's going to look like. So you're going to start out with this rabbit ear, and then you're going to fold that edge down like that. Might just be easier on the table. And then you're going to sink this triangle here. You're going to inside, put it on the inside like this. So mid-collapse, it's going to look like this. And squash everything down like that. So you're going to have this little flap that looks like this. Then you're going to do the same thing to this flap. So open this triangle up. Fold it down on the first of the 1, 2, 3 creases. So you're going to fold it down on that one, but just this end. Fold it back up on the middle of the 3 creases, and then fold it down again on the third. And then again, this is going to be all crazy looking. No, that's not going to be flat. You're just going to have to pop that out like that. So that whole top is going to sink in. And you can flatten it all like that. So now you've got these 2 little flaps. Okay, that did not turn out how it was supposed to, but it's good enough. Alright, now what you're going to do is you have to do the same thing, but to this portion here. This 3-point thing. So what you got to do is fold this chunk down like that. So if your model's laying flat, you're going to fold this top trapezoid dealio down behind it on this line, like this. So it looks like that. So you're just, this is your model laying flat. All this crap here, you're just folding it underneath like that. And now what we got to get rid of is this triangle here. So you're going to fold this edge to the middle. And it's just going to wrap around that line right there. I'm pretty sure my little flashlight was making everything worse. So again, this line to the center. Like this. Unfold it, and then fold it behind it the same way. So flip it over and fold it behind it. So now you've got that crease, goes from that corner all the way up into that point there. Now you do the same thing on the bottom. You're going to fold this edge to the center. Like that. Give it a nice crease. Unfold it. Flip it over. Fold it down. Again, edge to center. Give it a crease. Just shook my high-dollar camera rig. Unfold. Alright, so now what we're going to do is flip this portion again out like that. So you're back to this. These little triangles are standing up. So, to make this a little easier, you've got this flat. We're going to make a fold from this corner to this point here, right there. Right where that crease meets that crease. So it'll be a straight line straight across, and you're going to kind of make a square out of this. Be 3 lines. So let me show you what I mean. You're going from, there we go, from that corner to that point there, and fold up. And this is going to make the next step a little easier. So give that a crease, unfold it, and do the same thing on the other end. So from corner to these little, the corner of the creases there, right there. That point to this point, you're going to fold this down. Alright, so now, flip back over to this, unfold the stuff, and oh, we're good. So from here, you are going to, again, these big triangles here, stand them up. We'll just stand up one at a time. And you're going to kind of unfold almost the whole model here. But you'll notice this end's kind of locked in place, which is good, that'll help. So you're going to kind of stick your finger in there, and then you're going to collapse on all this here. So this line here, you're going to fold down on that. And then same thing right here. And then the ones in the middle will all get pushed down to the middle. So this is inverted. And you're going to squash everything down like that. This got super messed up somewhere. Not sure where. And then it's going to essentially, you're going to turn it from, you're sinking this whole end here. So it's going to make this flat like this, and it's going to go from this big triangle to this skinny triangle. So you can do the same thing on this side. So again, open it up. And sink everything in. So you're going to be using, if you have it here, you're going to be using this crease that we made when we folded this down, and then you're going to be using this crease here from when we folded that down. So you can see the line made across there, and the creases that go from this point to this point, that's what it's all coming down on. So this. Just like that. So that's probably the hardest part of this. So I apologize if that looks like crap on camera. Alright, so from here, with all the flaps on this side, you're going to flip it over. So this should all just be flat. Now we're going to fold this almost to the middle. But what we're going for here is you're going to make a fold from this corner to this corner. And again, that will almost put this flap, this edge, to the center line, but it won't quite make it. And this is what that looks like. That. So you're going to do the same thing on this side. Again, from corner here to corner here, you're just going to fold this flap in. Just like this. So you're not going to have those edges come into the center. They're going to get most of the way there. And it'll look like that. Then you're going to fold the whole thing in half. Like this. So all your triangles are on the outside. So you're going to have some crazy looking thing like this. And then what we're going to do is fold this square here that's hidden inside this flap. We have to fold that inside of the model like this. It's kind of hard. If you fold, flip it from here. I suck at making tutorials. All right, fold all these flaps here down towards the tail. So all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all pointing at the tail. Fold it in half. So what this fold is going to look like is you're going to go from this corner to this corner here where that crease is. This crease here, you're going to go from that corner of the crease and this edge down to that corner. Now you can't really fold all of this like that, but you can kind of bend it so the paper knows what you're talking about. So you kind of fold it down like that, so you've got that line, and that's what we're going to be going for. So fold that both ways as well as you can. And then you're going to, I'm going to turn this flashlight back on. Oh, that still sucks. Okay, so then you're going to unfold, fold all 5 of these forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Fold it in half. Now you can see that corner there, and what you need to do is open it up a little bit, fold this inside of it like that. So it should look like this. And in this area where my thumb and finger are, it's a lot of layers of paper. It gets very thick. Nothing wants to line up perfectly, but you just do the best you can. So now open it up a little bit, and you're basically going to do the same thing, except now you're going to bring these 2 edges up to those 2 edges. Okay. So, again, this sucks in black, but this edge, and then these two edges. You're just going to kind of fold this triangle that way. So it looks like this. So it looks like that. So this whole flap is what you folded down in before, from here. So you're going to fold the flap down, and then halfway back up, so that they meet. And it looks like that. And again, a lot of paper there, very thick. And that's where we are. Now, back legs, you're going to fold these guys forward, and then you're going to fold that edge, the top edge of the flap, down to the crease where it's pivoting. Fold it down like that. Why does that look so wrong? Just like that. Flip it over. So fold the leg forward, and then fold that top edge to the crease that it pivots on, like that, and then fold it back. So now your legs look like that. Alright. Now you're going to fold these 4 flaps to the back. And you're going to make the heads. So, this is the front center head. And there's no good way to pre-crease this because you got all this stuff in the way. But basically what you're going to do is outside reverse fold, like that. Fold the head up, the neck and head combo. So again, from here, you're going to kind of open this up and then fold it outside of itself, like that. So that's what it starts as. Outside reverse fold, it up like that. And then you're going to do the opposite for the head. So you're going to stick your thumb in here and fold the top portion down to make the head. You can see it started to take shape. Now you're basically going to do the same thing for all 4 of these flaps. You're going to fold one forward, but on these you're only going to do one reverse fold. You're just going to straight up fold this up like that, and then you're going to reverse fold the head. So kind of fold it down so that it's where you want it, and then outside reverse fold the head. So you've got this, you got 2 heads. So again, fold the flap forward, fold it up, and this is just going to determine the position of your head, so you can pretty much put it wherever you want it. And then fold this down like that. Alright, so I lost some footage there. I actually ran out of storage on my phone. But you're basically going to continue what we were doing for all those flaps. So for each flap, each triangle like that, you're just going to fold the whole thing forward, and then fold it up, fold the tip forward to match the size of the other heads, and then you got to find the middle of it, like that, and outside reverse fold the thing forward. And you can do that all the way around. So the same thing on the back. Like I said, I continued to film without it actually recording, so that's on me. And this is what you're going to be left with. So you've got this long guy, all 5 heads there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to shape the tail. So right behind the legs, we're going to fold the tail down. And then you're going to fold it back out. Like that. And you can do this however you want. This is just general shaping. I have here 2 other ones I've made. As you can see on this white one, I folded it inside all the way at the back legs and then folded it back out. And this guy here, I left it tail alone near the legs and did what we're doing here and folded it down right behind the legs. So you can do whichever one you think looks better. I think I'm actually going to go with this top one rather than this one. I think that one looks a little bit better. So for that one, you would fold it inside to basically be in line with the legs. So it'll look like that. And then you're going to fold it back out. Something like that. Now we're going to crimp the body, this little midsection. You got to kind of crimp it forward. So the easiest way to do that is to hold this whole front half flat. Stick your finger in here in the center and kind of grab it like this with all 3 of these fingers. And then kind of push the model forward like that. And fold all of that forward. Now try not to do a whole lot of it, I guess. You only want to do a little bit. Like this. And that just kind of gives it that curl so that it's not so flat. And now we're going to fold from this corner here to the front of his leg inside the model. And that's going to lock everything else in place. So you're just going to kind of curl up in there, like that. Give it a nice squish, and do that on the other side. That whole flap here, you're just going to roll it, basically roll it up, like that, inside. And there you have it. This one got a little funky. I think that one kind of turned out a little bit better. But that is the completed 5-headed hydra. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.